Liam here back with another episode of Skywars, and today I want to give you guys my thoughts about bullying, because it is a very common thing in school to be bullied, and I don't know, I feel like just a lot of people on YouTube have been bullied in their lifetime, and I feel like it's kind of an interesting topic. Like, it's not a fun topic, but it's interesting to talk about, and I mean, like, it can be fun to talk about. I mean, like, it's not fun in the sense that, like, it's bullying, you know what I mean? But anyway, I want to get over there, but I don't want to be shot off, because I have a ton of great gear right now. Anyway, the reason I want to talk about this is just because I feel like people are going about it all wrong. The number one thing I think that needs to happen about bullying is, I think, rather than telling kids to stop bullying, they need to teach ways to prevent it from happening. To prevent, like, you being verbally or physically attacked by someone. I think that'd be a lot more, beneficial. But, I will tell you guys my story about how I used to be bullied in middle school. Now, I go to a private school, and I went to a private school back then, so it's safe to say that I did not have to be worried. I was not worried about being physically bullied, if that makes sense. I did not have to worry that I'd be beat up every day or anything like that. And I was a small kid in middle school, so if I'd gone to a bad public school, you know, I would have been toast. Because by the time I finished middle school, as in graduated 8th grade, I was 95 pounds, I was 5'3", so I was really not built for, like, to stand up to guys that were bigger than me. It just wasn't gonna happen. Oh, shoot. Okay, speed. Oh, I got the Sonic speed! Okay, I got one of them. Okay, I got both of them, it looks like. Okay. Power 5. Okay. Everything looks good now. So anyway, I was verbally abused a lot, and I had a very difficult time avoiding my bullies. I had two of them. I'm not gonna name their names. I had two of them, and I couldn't avoid these guys because I had very few friends in middle school. I had, like, maybe 2 friends, and, like, one of them, oh, no, I had, like, 3 or 4 friends, and, like, one of them was my brother, so I didn't have that many friends outside my family at school. And what sucked is the 2 or 3 kids that I was friends with, they enjoyed they were friends with my bullies, so if I want to spend time with my friends, I had to spend time with these guys who were bullying me as well, which was really annoying. I hated it so much. I thought these 2 people were, like, wastes of human beings. Like, I didn't want to be around them, and it just sucked that if I wanted to have any social activity in middle school, I had to be around these people because I didn't really have any other friends at the time to hang with. So, it was very annoying, and how these bullies used to get at me is they would just do annoying stuff and do it over and over and over again. And it was so, like, what they did is they just did a bunch of things over and over again to try to piss you off, and then when you lashed out at them, they pretended like they did nothing. And they would say a bunch of mean things, and would always, like, throw mean, like, fire phrases, as the kids call them today. Like, they'd say something that was, like, a straight fire insult. That's what kids today would say. But, and they would throw fire... They would throw insults at me, and I'm not someone who can think of insults off the top of my head very quickly. And it was very tough because, like, they'd often, like, say a few insults to me, and then I couldn't, like, refute them in time, and they kept doing it again and again and again, and it would just embarrass me in front of people, and it sucked. And an example of things that they did over and over and over again, which pissed me off, are, Like, I would go into a classroom, and I'd set my stuff down, and then go to the bathroom before class would begin. And then by the time I'd return, all my papers would be, like, taken out of my binder and, like, shuffled around on my desk and the floor. So I had to go back and, like, reorganize them. And if I said any... Did that dude just walk off? Lol. Anyway, I guess I won that first game. But anyway, like, if I lashed out at them, I'm like, dude, why'd you do that? They'd be like, what? I didn't do anything. Hey, calm down. You're overreacting. And a lot of the time, both of them, like, since I had 2 bullies, both of them were in some of my classes together. And if one of them did something, the other one would support it. So, like, in that example where they move all my papers around, and I'm like, dude, why'd you do that? And, like, I'm getting mad at them. The other one would support the bully. And then if the teacher asked any questions, the 2 of them would support each other, and I'd be the odd person out because it's 2 against 1 at that point. You see what I'm saying? It just annoyed the hell out of me. And, although I never got physically, bullied, my brother got pushed down on the Foursquare court one time, just because Foursquare is always a controversial game at recess, because, you know, sometimes, because, like, it depends a lot on where the ball lands when you're playing Foursquare. For those of you that, have never played, it's a very difficult game to, like, play, just because of the fact that, sometimes you just don't, like, sometimes there are a lot of close calls, and you can't really see what happened, and it's not like you can go back and see it again. It's not like Foursquare has instant replay or anything, but anyway, my brother one time refused to go out because there was a play where, he genuinely should have stayed in, and, I saw the play happen, and my brother was right. He should have stayed in. And these 2 bullies, they hated my brother as well, and my brother hated them as well. One of them went up and pushed him over, and, like, really hard. It wasn't just, like, a slight push. Like, they just, like, shoved him, like, straight down, like he skid on the concrete of the Foursquare court, and it looked rough. So anyway, my parents called their parents that night to say, hey, you need to tell your kid to stop. And, that just made matters worse, because it made a bunch of people, it was very embarrassing to hear at my school, like, oh, you guys aren't being bullied, you need to suck it up, you know, you need to, like, you guys aren't being bullied, quit saying that, like, you guys are just being pussies or whatever. Like, it was annoying to hear all that stuff, especially when I knew I was right and my brother was right. We were being bullied. I got insulted a lot. I got ganged up on a lot and stuff, and I just found myself being very pissed off all the time by these people. So I wasn't bullied in the sense that, like, I was being verbally physically attacked every day, but I was just being, like, verbally abused to the point where it just pissed me off to go to school. I just didn't enjoy school because of that very reason. I didn't like going to school with these kids in my classes that would just piss me off 24/7. It wasn't fun. So anyway, here are my tips. Before I get to the tips, I want to talk about, like, hold on. Got him. Okay. Is that not game? Anyway, that's a regen pot, so let's use that. Anyway, there's 3 people left. So getting back to it, I want to talk about where these bullies are now, and then tips on how you yourself can avoid these types of people. So, these bullies in particular, I kind of know where they are. So, one of them, neither of these guys go to my school anymore. One of them goes to a public school now, and he made a really poor decision in going to that public school. And here's the reason why. My school is very good. It's just a good school, and it will serve you a lot better in your life if you go to my school over a really low-quality public school that they have in Dallas. And this guy chose to go to a public school because his parents promised him that if he went, they'd get him a BMW. And, like, this family was wealthy. Like, they had the money to pay for this kid to go to private school all through high school. And, like, because the public schools in Dallas are very low quality, except for this one, but I'm not gonna get into that. They're very low quality public schools, so this guy, he threw a lot of his, he threw a good opportunity away over a BMW, and guess what? His parents never even got him the BMW. So, like, would you look at that? Like, lol. Anyway, that's what happened to the first guy. I have no clue what college he's going to, but, my guess is that he didn't take his high school grades that seriously. The other one I have seen recently, he's a lot more calmed down now, and he's actually, like, he's not a bad person to talk to anymore. He doesn't really insult me a lot anymore, or, he doesn't do anything, like, mean to me. Like, there isn't really any issue talking to this kid anymore. But, wait, I have ender pearls. What the hell am I doing? Shoot. Like, how did that miss? I aimed right at the block. Anyway, I see him now and again, but all this kid does now is he just smokes a ton of weed. He became a huge stoner. That's all he does on the weekends, and, you know, like, what a loser, you know? Like, if you're just gonna do that with your time, like, you are a complete loser. So, bottom line is, I think I'm gonna be a lot more successful than both of these people later in my lifetime. I don't feel like, I feel like I'm gonna be a lot better off than these kids, and they really didn't gain a whole lot from bullying me. So that's kind of my experience. I know a lot of you have probably gone through something a lot worse, but just for the record, I was going through a lot of other difficult stuff at the time, which did make the situation a lot more stressful. I'm not gonna get into that now. Definitely not now. But anyway, I was going through a ton of difficult stuff. Oh, shoot. I thought that was above. I was going through a ton of difficult stuff, so I didn't really need that in my life. So, I'm going over time already, but I feel like this is important. So, what are the tips I have for you guys that are being bullied? Well, although I was never physically bullied, the main tip I can say is stay near teachers or faculty members whenever possible. That way, if someone ever attacks you, a teacher can see, and then that kid will most likely get in some trouble. That's my best piece of advice for that type of situation. You just gotta make yourself visible to staff members so bullies aren't a threat to you when you're near them. That's my main tip for physical violence. I don't really know any other tips besides that. Next is the verbal side of things, and I wish I had focused a lot more on these tips when I was younger, but here's what you need to do. If someone is verbally abusing you and insulting you a ton and calling you mean names and saying stuff that just really, really, really pisses you off and bugs the crap out of you, what you need to do is you need to not react in front of them. That is the main key. You do not want to react in front of them, no matter how much what they say pisses you off, or no matter how bad, like, they're treating you, you do not let it show. You just need a blank face. You don't reply to them. You don't even say, well, I'm just not going to respond to that because that's mean. You don't say anything. You give them a blank stare. You don't say anything back to them. Do not appear pissed off. Do not appear, like, what you're trying to do is you're trying to avoid them getting a rise out of you. Their goal is they want to see you pissed off. That's what their goal is. They want to see you they want to see you be pissed off. That's how they get enjoyment. So, if you don't give them the satisfaction of pissing you off, then they'll stop doing it eventually. It's not going to go away immediately. But if you don't let those insults hurt you in front of them, then you'll be a lot better off. They'll stop eventually because they just won't have fun being mean to you anymore. They won't have fun bullying you anymore. So they're just gonna find a new victim at that point. So that is basically that. But you might be wondering, well, if what they're saying is pissing me off, when do I get mad about it? you gotta get mad about it when they aren't present. So if they say something to you that really offends you, don't get mad in front of them, but when you get home that day, I don't know, like, talk about it with your parents, you know, like, I don't know, parents are a good source to talk to about stuff like that. One thing I would also recommend is do not get an adult involved. Like, don't get the teacher involved in the situation, if that makes sense. Because, I don't know. Kids know that getting a teacher involved is kind of like a pussy move or whatever. Like, you don't, like, in my situation, talking to my parents and having them make that phone, in my brother's situation, talking to my parents and having them phone, the other family didn't really do us a lot of favors. So, I wouldn't recommend it. But, you know, I've heard some cases where it works. I've heard others where it hasn't. Doing middle school over again, I would not get a parent's help. That's just me, though. That is just me. So... Oh, wait. Out of here, boy. Okay, so let me see. Got that plot, too. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish this game up. I am so sorry this game ran over time, guys, but I feel like it's an important topic that you guys needed to hear. I don't know. I know a ton of you guys are probably in middle school right now. I'm assuming my target audience for my YouTube channel is like... Shoot. I'm assuming my target audience for my YouTube channel are like 8th and 9th graders, so a lot of you guys are probably on the back half of this. And bullying doesn't really happen in a high school, and if it does, it's usually just some loser kid. But anyway, those are my tips. You just need to stay in your lane. If they're physically hurting you, you need to be by a teacher who will get that kid in trouble if they do anything. And if they're physically abusing you, you need to oh my bad. If they're verbally abusing you, you need to hold on. If they're verbally abusing you, you need to not let them see your reaction. That's pretty much it. And, you know, I've never heard of someone who was a bully during middle school who ended up successful during high school or during college. So, just keep that in mind. If you have to suffer a bit through middle school because some kid who's bigger and stronger than you can, piss you off, you know, it'll piss you off now, but justice will be served eventually, you know? Good things happen to people who deserve it. Bad things happen to people who deserve it. You know, it's kind of funny how life works that way. So, yeah, I think I'm going to be successful than more successful than both of my middle school bullies, and, you know, that's fine with me. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching today's episode of Skywars. Let me know if those tips helped you at all. And, yeah, let me know if you have any questions, because bullying is a matter that I would not stand for. And I think prevention, steps to raise bullying prevention need to be emphasized a lot more than telling people to stop bullying, because that doesn't work. Yeah, so yeah, thank you guys for watching today's episode of Skywars. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.